good. How are you?
Good. Did you make it here okay?
Yeah.
There wasn't any traffic or anything?
No, there was like a little traffic, but it wasn't too bad.
Perfect. Before we get started, did you want a coffee or a tea or anything?
No, I'm okay, thanks.
Okay. So I just wanted to go over confidentiality with you. I know we've been over this a few times, but I just think it's good to start every session. So a little bit about confidentiality is that everything that you say here with me stays here with me. I'm not sharing your information. I'm not going around telling people. However, there are some instances where I will have to breach confidentiality, and that is if you are at risk of suicide and imminent harm, or if you are planning to harm another person, if there is child abuse in the home or elder abuse, or if my notes from our sessions are subpoenaed to court. But otherwise, this is a private session between you and I, and it will stay that way.
Okay, cool.
So I'm wondering, what brought you in today?
I'm just kind of feeling a little stressed. I have a lot going on with school, work, and my living situation, so I'm a little overwhelmed with that. So I'm just trying to cope, because, like, I'm a really, like, straightforward person, like, don't beat around the bush, like, kind of just say what I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying really hard not to do that, because I actually live with one of my friends from back home.
Okay.
So I'm trying really hard not to, like, lose my shit on her, but I just don't know what to do. And it's not like she's doing really anything wrong. It's just we spend a lot of time together. Like, we live together. We're both playing on the volleyball team. So, like, I'm constantly with her, like, 24/7. And I just, like, our house is big enough that I have my own time, but it's not, like, I don't know. And she sometimes just comes into my space. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to, like, yell at you right now, but I want to yell at you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying not to make our living situation hard, but I'm just really like, I want to strangle her sometimes.
So it sounds like you have someone you care about, but they're constantly in your space. You don't have time to be alone, have that private time you need.
Not really.
And do you think that maybe it's her character? Are you guys very similar and that clashes, or are you very different?
I think we're similar, but I think it's just because, like, I think it is because we're similar, but we know a lot of the same people from back home, or, like, we know a lot of the same people now who, like, I was here a year before she was here, so it's like I kind of made all these friends, and then she made the exact same friends, and then sometimes she'll be like, oh, I know more about this person than you do, and I'm like, no, you don't, like, they were my friends first, like, they're not yours.
So did you introduce her to those people when she moved here?
Yeah, so, like, I introduced her to, like, most of my friends so that she had friends. And then, like, obviously we play on the same team. So she became friends with them too, like, naturally. So I was like, that's fine. Like, obviously you're going to develop your own relationship with them. But I just hate that she compares, like, her relationship with our friends, like, against each other. And I'm like, your relationship with that person is, like, totally different than my relationship. Like, so don't throw it in my face, kind of thing.
So is it almost like she's challenging you to see who knows more about let's say Bob?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
I can see why that would be a little bit of a struggle. Have you tried talking to her about it, or have you mentioned anything in the past?
No, because sometimes I just say stuff without, like, thinking about it. So I don't know how to say it, and, like, at the same time, I feel like it's kind of petty that I feel that way, but.
Well, I think you have your group of friends, you have your private space. These are things that you would consider yours, and it's hard when someone comes in and decides to challenge that, or makes you feel insignificant, or pushes you here and pushes you there. So
totally. It's almost like going back to being a little kid when, like, you have a toy, and somebody else wants a toy. You don't want them to have your toy.
Exactly.
Like, you want to share because sharing is caring, but I'm like, I want to share. Mm-hmm. So that's really hard for me.
So can I ask you how you're coping about all this? Like, when you go home and she's there, what do you do?
Sometimes I'll be, like, really talkative and try to get myself out of that mindset. But a lot of the time, I'll just, like, sometimes I make, like, little short comments. So she kind of, like, I'm not being totally abrupt with my statement, but, like, so she kind of gets the hint because she knows that I, like, get annoyed easily. So I kind of drop, like, little hints, or I'll, like, my room's downstairs and her room's upstairs, so sometimes I just go downstairs and I'll close my door and be like, okay, just don't talk to me for like an hour and see you at practice.
Okay.
Like, just don't talk to me. And then at practice, I don't go like as her partner. I always find somebody else. So I'm not with her 24/7, and like there's more people around that I don't really have to engage with her. I just have to like be like, yeah, I'll be a good teammate. I don't have a problem doing that, but I'm like, at least there's more people where she can talk to them and I don't have to talk to her, or I don't have to talk to them. So it's kind of what I do, and I have other mutual friends who I can vent to and they understand. But yeah.
That's good. I'm actually really happy to hear that. It sounds like you're doing like well coping with this, and you are taking the time to give yourself space and interact with other people. I think that's a strength. You should be proud of yourself for not snapping and going off on her, but trying to find positive outlets to deal with it.
Yeah.
So, why have you never mentioned anything to her? And you've only just been a little bit curt with her. What's stopping you from just being direct? Are you afraid of hurting her feelings?
Yeah, because I honestly, like, she's not doing it on purpose, like, whatsoever, like, and I know that she likes her own time, too, so I think I just, like, don't want to snap on her, because I think, like, she just wants to be around, like, she wants having people around, but she doesn't mean to, like, be on my nerves, and I don't think she thinks that she's doing anything wrong, and, like, she's not. It's just my emotion, so I don't want to snap on her and hurt her feelings, and, like, our living situation would be, like, tense for a little bit, so I'm, like, doing that, because we have, like, other roommates. It's not just us, so I don't want to make it uncomfortable for anybody else.
I could see why you'd be worried, because it could be a chain reaction. You say something, and she doesn't handle it well, and then there's tension in the house, and maybe other people living with you will react to it too. Yeah,
and like I don't want, like, we get along, like all of our roommates, we all get along, so I don't want anybody to be like, I have to pick sides. I just want them to be like, Switzerland, be neutral. Like, me and her having a fight, you don't need to get involved, but I think she would involve them, because she'd be like, what's wrong? Like, what did I do? Like, want to confide in them? So I'm just like, I just want to just not include anybody else, and I just don't want to snap. I just need my time to just chill.
So I'm as you said before, you should be happy about your coping mechanisms. But have you ever tried deep breathing?
No.
One method. It's a little bit more towards mindfulness, but I think you should maybe try it this week. When when she's getting on your nerves, and you have that time where you can go down to the basement and go to your room. You should try taking some deep breaths. If you want, we could try it now, just so you could see how you feel.
Okay, sure.
So just plant your feet firmly on the floor and sit up with your back straight. Okay. And you're going to breathe in through your nose for a count of 4.
Can I close my eyes?
Yeah, of course. And exhale through your mouth for a count of 4. So we'll do it 3 times. And in. And out. In for 4. And out for 4. And last time, we'll go in for 4. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back. How did that feel?
It was calming, because I just like was feeling my shoulders go up and down, so it was like relaxing. I think it's something I could do.
I think if that's something that you enjoy and you think might work, I think maybe that could be a goal for you this week. Instead of maybe locking yourself in your room and stewing over it, you can sit and take 3 deep breaths, or 4 or 5, whatever you need to just kind of get back to your center and focus on yourself again.
I think that's a really good idea. I think I could do that, because like you said, like, I do stew about it, and I think that's what fuels my fire even more. So I think that's a good strategy. I should just take a deep breath. And, like, I don't even have to go to my room. I could just be like there and just be like, before we say anything.
And so when you, I need to ask you, when you talk to your other friends, when you vent, what do they say? Do they kind of have similar opinions when they're around her? Or do they kind of tell you to calm down or blow it off?
They kind of do say the same thing. They let me vent, but they're like, she's not meaning to do it on purpose. Like, she's a nice person. Like, you gotta remember that. And I'm like, yeah, I totally agree. So, like, they are kind of like that, the little angel devil on your shoulders. Like, some of them will be like, oh, yeah, she was bugging me today, too, at practice. And then they'll be like, well, maybe she's got something else, like, going on or something like that. So, I like that my friends are there to, like, balance me out, but also they do let me vent about it. But
good.
they, again, don't like to pick sides because they know her too, right? So they're like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, and you don't want to put someone in a spot where they'll have to choose sides, or
Exactly.
it could damage your relationship with them. But it's good that you have people to talk to. Is there anyone in particular that you find as support that you really go to?
My mom. I go to my mom a lot because she knows how, like, cranky, I guess, I get, or just how, like, rude and abrupt I can be. So she'll be like, well, like, you can't just say what you want to say, and, like, you have to think about that other person's feelings, and, like, she really does a good job of, like, calming me down and being like, I think you're overreacting and kind of being a little bit silly about the situation. So having, like, my mom say that, I'll be like, man, she's right, but okay, yeah, I get where she's coming from. So that also kind of, like, reassures me that I am allowed to feel how I feel, but I also have to think of, like, other people's feelings too. I can't just go off and lose my shit.
So is that a challenge for you, would you say, that sometimes you can't control what you say, or you have a hard time holding things back?
Yeah. Like, sometimes if I'm in the moment, in the heat of the moment, I will just be like, shut up. Like, what you said was dumb. Or, like, say something, and then I'll be like, I just hurt their feelings, and I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. And, like, my facial expressions are really bad. So, like, sometimes I won't even say it, but my face will literally be like, you're an idiot, or, like, fuck off.
It says it for you.
It says it for me, and then, or, like, even my tone of voice, like, sometimes I'll just say something, like, really aggressively, like, if I'm talking or paying attention to somebody else, and they're like, Logan, I'll be like, what? What do you want? And I'm like, sorry, that came off really aggressively, didn't mean it, and I struggle with that a lot, but I'm working on it.
That's awesome. See, you found another strength. The fact that you acknowledge that maybe you have got a bad habit, and you're doing your best to try and put your foot in front of the other and overcome it. That's awesome. So you're making the strides. That's really good. So we're coming to the end of our session, actually. So I'm glad we decided we're going to work on breathing this week. Is there anything else that you think you maybe want to take on, or even what you want to work on with your roommate?
I think I could maybe, like, work on, like, strategies of how to talk to her, or, like, approach the situation. Like, I don't know, maybe I could just, like, after I get worked up for a little bit, maybe go do the breathing and then think about what I want to say, or, like, if I did do, like, gave a look that said, like, oh my god, you're pissing me off, come back and be like, I want you to know, like, you're not actually doing anything wrong, but at the same time, like, I'm just annoyed and need my own space, and it, like, it could just be like, I was annoyed from previous before, and then you just said something, and it, like, sparked.
It was just enough to set you off.
Need to, like, be able to have that conversation. I, like, really need to work on it. Be, like, reflecting on, like, how I'm feeling, or, like, reflect on my emotions and my behaviors that I show, so that they know, like, it's not really you, it's just me. Like, don't worry about it, kind of thing. So I think that's what I could work on, I guess.
I think that's really great, Logan. You've shown a lot of strengths today, and I'm glad we've got some things you can work on. So I'll walk you out, and I'll see you next week, and we'll see how it went.
Perfect. Thanks.
Oh, just stop.